Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Haejun from Hanshi. I am so sorry for taking so long to be back. I've been really busy for the past few days. Before I get into today's video, I do have to introduce myself a little bit in a more detailed way. So I am a news producer working in Washington, D.C. And the reason why I have been busy for the past few days is because, as a lot of you know already, that this whole country, the US, even the whole world has been very active with participating in a protest for George Floyd. For the past few days, I've been participating in the protest happening in DC, and I wanted to share some significant moments and what I've seen during the protest. And of course, I do want to share those chants that the protesters used during the protest. And I think these chants are worth noting in Korean as well. So when I was participating in the protest, for the past few days, the protesters were marching from the White House to the Capitol, which is about 2 miles of walk. It was like about 35 minutes of walk going one way. Of course, there would be whole bunch of like a police, like National Guards standing in front of the Capitol so that we don't get any more closer to the Capitol building itself. But it was just significant how people would kneel, also chant those phrases that are related to this protest, and make sure that we are reminding ourselves that this is what we are protesting for. And some of those chants included Black Lives Matter, and another one was No Justice, No Peace, and the other one was I Can't Breathe, which was the last word of George Floyd. So I just want to go over these in Korean first before I move on to what I've seen through the protest. So Black Lives Matter. If you translate that into Korean, 흑인의 목숨은 소중하다. 흑인, African American. Lives can be translated into 생명 or 목숨. They both mean someone's life. 소중하다. 소중하다 meaning precious, that it matters. And as for no justice, no peace, this was chanted as if one person yells no justice, then the rest of the protesters will say no peace. No justice, no peace. To translate that into Korean, it would be 정의가 없으면 평화도 없다. 정의 is justice. 없다 meaning non-existent. 으면 is when or if. So if there's no justice, there's no peace, 평화. And as for the chant, I can't breathe, if you translate that into Korean, it becomes 숨을 쉴 수 없어요. 숨을 쉬다, it means to breathe. 쉬다 means to breathe. 숨 is like breath. Add that with 을 수 있다 없다. 없다 in this case. 숨을 쉴 수 없어요. So those were some chants that were being part of the protest, and as you see in the news, the White House has been building more fences around White House. So it was only around White House in the beginning. So we were able to approach the Lafayette Park. But in the next 2 days, they also blocked the Lafayette Park with the new fence. And then after 1 or 2 days, they extended that fence further out into the streets. But what's interesting is that the mayor of DC have designated the 16th Street, the crossing that is right in front of the White House, into Black Lives Matter Plaza. So it got a new street name, and also on the day of, there was a bold letter painting on the street which says Black Lives Matter. The day the street was designated as Black Lives Matter Plaza, everyone was kind of like in a mood of celebration. There was like a speaker so that people could play loud music. In like a circle, there were some people breakdancing. There were so many protesters that somewhat didn't have a mask on. We still gotta remember that there is coronavirus still out there, so we do have to be careful, and I just hope that everyone's safe who are still protesting out there. But for people who didn't have their masks, there were some group of people that were giving out free masks. And also, because the weather was super hot in the past few days, people gave out free snacks and water bottles so that people don't get dehydrated or they're not starving while they're protesting, because they're just there all day. They're out there all day. It's very passionate, and I can see that they strongly have this message in their heart that they want to spread. It was very passionate and also inspiring at the same time. And don't get me wrong, this entire protest was very peaceful in DC. This one day when Trump had to do the photo op in front of the church, the St. John Church, was the only day that they fired some sort of tear gas to make a way for Trump to take a picture. But other than that, everyone was just true to getting their messages across. That was their purpose of this protest. They didn't want to hurt anyone. They didn't want to loot anything. It was just very peaceful. And for the past few days, cities have been getting a curfew. So this one day that I went out to the protest, we were marching. When we all got to the Capitol, it was about 6 o'clock. And that day the curfew was 7 p.m. And when the time was 6:30, like 30 minutes before the curfew, everyone was chanting, "See you tomorrow." So they were very on time, and they were overall respecting others and also respecting the police, even though here and there I heard some verbal attacks to the police and it wasn't like violent. So I think overall the protest was very peaceful, and the entire protest was just focused on why they're there for. And lastly, I do want to share some videos that I got from the protest. It's not much, but
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
that's how I'm gonna end my today's video, and next time I'll be back with another Korean lesson. So please stay in touch. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!